Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 6 of What If Naruto was sent to a parallel multiverse. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode over on Anime King of What If Naruto was trained by Shao Kahn. And enjoy that guys, a brand new series, a crossover between Naruto and Mortal Kombat. And over in Anime King 2 I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto had a different dimensional being sealed inside of him, so go ahead and enjoy that guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking about to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, as Naruto was called to the office with Minato inside, two people then entered as Naruto saw the female Orochimaru, known as Urkai. But it was not just her alone, Inoichi and Minaka entered as well, as Minato told Naruto that he was proud of him for breaking Menma regarding the academy, as he placed a hand on Naruto's head. As Naruto could feel Minato's chakra, trying to subdue him, Naruto could stop it, but he decided to see where this was going. It's not like they could kill him that easily after all. As they put him to sleep, Urkai was about to inject him with something, but Minato stopped her and warned her to make sure that it's the right serum, as she did. As it was able to open up Naruto's mind to allow Inoichi free access as he entered Naruto's brain. But when he entered, he found himself in the wasteland of Naruto Mindscape, as Naruto sat on the throne, like a god that he was, looking down at the puny human who decided to enter his realm. Inoichi tried to leave, but Naruto did not give him permission to leave yet, and just like that they were in the office. Minato and Urkai was discussing things. Top secret things, dangerous, really bad things. As Minato was a student of Danzo Shimera after all. The man was not good. He was a bit on the darker side. He did things to make sure that Konoha always succeed, even if it meant doing chaos and starting war. As the family was something that he never was used to, love. And indeed he fell in love with Kushina, but there were things going on that not even she or the Uzumaki clan know. As Minato waited until Inoichi exited Naruto's head. Unknown to him, Inoichi was under Naruto's command, as he told him that everything was fine, as Minato realized that he was being a bit too paranoid, but Danzo always told him that it's better to be paranoid than unprepared and die. So, he got his head back in the game. Soon after, Naruto woke up as he liked Naruto and told him that he fell asleep, as Naruto was allowed to go. The next day, as Naruto was going to pick up Sahara, as he saw Mikoto, she acted rather strange with him when he was alone, the way she talked to him and looked at him, and she also asked about his father in a way that seemed suspicious to Naruto. She asked about his mother as well, but there was something there that Naruto just couldn't put his finger on, as Sahara came down. When they made their way to the academy along with Mito, they arrived, as they were told about their team selection. As Naruto was surprised when his Jonin sensei was Obito, Sahara was on his team, and there was also Sakura as well. As that surprised Naruto, as Mito was placed with the two Hyugas, as she was rather upset about that. Sahara took Naruto one side though. She asked him to do something as her best friend. She wanted to kiss him, as Naruto was confused by that. As she told me the other girls and her was talking and all of them had their first kiss. As she said she wanted to do it before she graduated the academy, so she wanted to do it with him. He was the person that she trusted the most after all. As Naruto agreed to that, it was brief and a bit short. She was new to it all after all. And also it kept Naruto's mind off what he was thinking, as he kind of understood what happened to Katsume while coming here. Her soul must be with the Kyuubi. After all, his power resonated to his younger self because they were like one and the same, and her power must resonate to the Kyuubi. So that is where she is, but at the moment he doesn't have the power to go and free her, without carrying too much suspicion on himself, and being sealed away. At the current state that he was in now, he could be sealed away. He needed his power back before trying anything, as he just wanted her to hold on. Later that night though, Naruto saw something rather suspicious. As he went to go and drink some water, he saw his father appear in the night. As he just flashed in, and he was fixing his clothing. Something seemed off about the man. As Naruto had dropped his chakra levels, his father could not sense him. Well, that was interesting. So yeah guys, so basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the place of yourself. So just to begin this new episode, we begin this new episode at a house, more like a mansion. This was not within Konoha. The house belonged to a rather rich noble, as the man was on the chubbier side, as he was currently getting ready for bed. It was currently night time. The man swinged his legs over the bed as he sat down, as he was munching on some ice cream. The main cause of his weight, he was obsessed with ice cream, as he took down the entire pint of ice cream within seconds like it was nothing. He wiped his mouth with a tablecloth as one of his mates came in. Given his rather large size, she looked like a small twig compared to him. Despite his big size, he was not a fighter. He was just a noble, rich. So there was plenty of food to go around. After all, his halls were decorative and wonderful. As the man lay down on his back, taking in fresh breath, as he got a cap over his eyes to fall asleep right now. As he lay there, quickly falling asleep into blissful dream, unaware of someone sneaking in. The person that came in was like a ghost. He was wearing a black cloak, so you could not see his legs to know if he was moving at all. There was no sound, no noise. It was like he wasn't even there. As he glided across the floor, making his way towards his target. As he was wearing a strange mask. The mask was completely plain. There was nothing on it. Just two eye holes. As his eyes were dark, you could not see anything in the eye holes of the mask. He arrived over the fat noble. As he looked down towards the man, he unsheathed a kunai, as he stabbed it in the man's neck, cutting an artery, allowing the man to choke on his own blood. After he was finished, he placed the kunai down on the ground, as he pulled out a vial of blood, as he poured the blood all over the kunai handle. He then pulled out some documents as he placed them right there on the table as he was setting something up. Once he was sure that everything was done, he quickly left as he came, like nothing happened. The man snuck out as he was gone, in the darkness. Once he was afar enough distance away, he reached up towards his earpiece as he pressed it. Target has been taken care of. What about your end? He said. I'm done over here. The others just confirmed their kill as well. Alright, head home, he said, as he gave the orders to his people. He glanced up towards the bright moon, a wisp of blonde hair coming out of his black cloak, as he vanished, like he was never there. The next morning when the noble was found, the evidence that was found there was some incriminating evidence, but not on him, as this was a major outfall in the land of Earth. Problems had started. The person that killed the man last night had framed another ambassador of the Earth, and that was just gonna create chaos. Meanwhile, at Konoha, as Naruto was stuck in a tight hug by Kushina, as she was hugging him rather tightly, before she finally broke free, as she gave both him and Mito a kiss on the forehead. Remember, be careful, both of you, she said, and do not take any unnecessary risks, and listen to your Jonin's commander, understood? The both of them nodded. Yes, mom, they said. As Naruto frowned a bit, The woman was being so protective of him. As he shrugged it off, he was a god, he could protect himself from anyone. Well, maybe not at the moment from anyone, but still. There was no one that could easily defeat him without him giving him a good fight. She gripped the both of them once more in a tight hug. Before, she finally broke apart and gave them a kiss once again and bid them farewell. Konoha was a lot different, Naruto came to realize. First thing first, the academy was not as easygoing as it was in his time. As Naruto realized that he started teaching them ninjutsu from earlier on out, not the weak, pathetic academy ninjutsu, real ninjutsu. That is the reason why they did not do a test with their Jonin sensei. They were already qualified genins. And Naruto realized that they would be going on missions outside the village, not any lame missions inside. Well, this was gonna be good, better than he thought after all. As him and Mito both separated as they went to their respective training grounds. It turns out that Kakashi was her sensei, while he was not really paying attention. So, he found out last night from her, not to mention what he saw his father coming in last night. Something was wrong, either he was in a fight or he was with another woman, the way he was fixing himself up. As Naruto was gonna keep an eye on that. As Naruto made his way, he could feel himself being watched. As he wondered who it was not the same envoy that his father decided to watch him with. It seems like his father was finally satisfied that he was not the enemy. How foolish he was. To think that he was his son, well, no one would know if he did not tell them. But still, someone else was watching him. It was not Menma. Menma was off on a long-term mission. The person Chakra felt strange. He wasn't sure, but it seemed familiar to him. The person vanished once he saw Sahara. As Naruto wondered what is going on there. As Sahara saw him with a smile, as she walked over to him. So, you ready? You mean for a mission outside the village, finally? Yeah, she said. As Naruto nodded, of course I'm ready. As he glanced towards her. After their little kiss, she hadn't said anything about it. It seemed that things had just returned back to normal. Were they such good friends that not even that could even tamper with their relationship? Well, he never had a friendship like that before. The closest thing he could say to a best friend was Katsumi, but she was more than a friend to him. She was everything to him. And his mind was becoming more and more unstable the longer he was separated from her. As he really needed to find a way to regain his power quickly, so that he could free her from where she was, because that was the only way that he could think of, where her mind was. Because if it was not in there, he was gonna use his power and try to find a way to rip that dimension gate open once again and return back to his original home. Well, he supposed that it was probably dust by now after he brought the moon down upon it. But if she was not here, then where the hell was she? He had saw her enter the space with him, but she had fell unconscious right away. As he remembered that he had to destroy her physical body and bring her chakra, perhaps that is the reason why things are now acting so strange. But she was not waking up. The only place that he could think of her being was inside of the cave of this timeline. When he arrived to training ground 7, he saw that there was no Sakura. Obito was standing there though. As the both of them walk over towards him. Hey guys, change of plan. The teams that were selected yesterday are gonna be changed up a bit. What do you mean? Said Naruto. Well, after a long talk with the Hokage, it seems like our Hokages came to a different conclusion. Having two Byakugan users on just one team wouldn't be sufficient enough. To help equal out and balance the team to have two visual powers on each team, one of each team members will be switched. Switch? Who is that? Said Sahara as she stepped close at Naruto. She didn't want to be switched and she didn't want Naruto to be switched either. Sakura Senju. And we will be receiving one of the Hyugas on our team. Why? We were fine as we were. It's not like we need one of them. Well, it's not your choice, Uchiha. As the both of them turned to see Hanabi walking up to them. As Naruto was surprised by this turn of events, the Hokage has come to a realization that having two of us on one team would just be a bit too overpowered. So, splitting us down so that we could share our visual powers to help would be better. Just Don't slow me down, she said as she looked towards the two of them, keeping a neutral expression on her face. As Naruto chuckled to himself inwardly. She was a rather good actor, he thought to himself, showing him disdain even though she doesn't want to, as he could see her slight hand twitching. But he said nothing. Well, no need to be hostile. We're a team and we can work together, said Obito, as Naruto glanced toward the man. Was this really how he was before he became that psychopath that was hell-bent to change the world and trap them all into a dream for a damn girl? As Naruto said nothing, said Sahara, she turned her head. Meanwhile, with Kakashi sighed as he looked down towards his three Genins. This was going to be more difficult than he thought, as they were arguing, a team of all girls, and they were already at each other's throats. Alright, calm down, he said. Why don't we reintroduce ourselves? As he looked towards all of them, trying to get them to easy out. Back towards Naruto and his team, they found themselves in front of the Hokage's tower as they made their way up. Arriving inside, Minato smiled when he saw the group. Team 7, here for your first official mission. As the team nodded at that. Alright then, let's start you guys out to that C rank first, before we move on to the more strenuous missions. You guys okay with that? Yes, we are, Hokage-sama, Obito said. After all, they need to get a taste of the field first. Minato smiled as he nodded at Obito. As Naruto narrowed his eyes, he couldn't put his finger on it, but something was just off. Was the way that they were talking. It seems that they were kind of acting. Once again, Naruto felt that same presence. Someone was watching him. As he wasn't really paying attention as Obito talked to Minato, someone was here. The person hid their presence so well that no other could sense them, but Naruto could sense them perfectly. As he looked around slightly. Alright, let's go, Obito said, as Naruto blinked in confusion. Let's go? Where? As Sahara looked towards him. Weren't you listening? Come on, she said as he was led out of the office. Once they were gone, Minato flashed to a set of hand signs. As the room glowed for a second, he pressed the intercom on the table. Mimi, he said, I'm having an important meeting right now. No one's supposed to enter, understood? Yes, Hokage-sama, she said. Once that was done, someone appeared in an instant in front of his table. As the person placed down a scroll, Minato took the scroll. Was there any hiccups, he said. No. The mission was a success. I'm sure that they have already discovered his body, and the blame will be placed on his competitors, starting things up once again. Minato smiled at that. You did good. What about the others? Sir, with all due respect, they're my team. Failure is not the option. You've trained us yourself for this, so there's no point in asking. If they failed, their heads will be delivered to you. As Minato nodded, yes, I've trained you well, it seems. But this is only phase 1. I've already laid out everything. You went over it perfectly, didn't you? As the person simply nodded. As his vision was obscured despite being in the office, he did not remove the mask or remove the cloak. Move on to phase 2. Kieri, said Minato. At once. Before he could leave though, Minato spoke up. You've been watching him, haven't you? The person paused as there was a slight movement on him. Don't bother trying to lie to me. You've been watching him. Yes, I have. What do you think? He's different. You told me before to stop watching him, but I can see the change in behavior. Whatever happened to him, it's affecting him more than I thought. But other than that, he seemed to be the same. He still hangs out with his friends and talk. Why is he the only one that you're interested in? There's something about him, a strength that is hidden deep inside of him, that I think that you should capitalize on and let him become one of us. No. He's not for that area. You know what you are, said Minato. Yes. I'm the one that stands to make the roots of Konoha tall so the tree might never fall. And he will be in the light to make sure the roots are hidden to complete the task. that none shall see. Exactly, said Minato. You may go now. And remember, stay out of sight, even if you're gonna watch him. And do not go near him at the compounds, understood? The person nodded before he vanished off, the wicks of blonde hair vanishing. As Minato turned around in his chair, one of his biggest secrets, that boy there, that no one must know about. As he focused, he got out of his seat and looked towards the window, looking over his village that he did so much things to make it stand strong, and no matter what happened he would never, ever let it fall. He would never let that happen. Things are working perfectly right now. It's only a matter of time before things fall right into his lap. With Menma taking over the Uzumaki compound and becoming the new clan head, Yoshino would no longer interfere in certain acts that he didn't want her to. And Menma was better to control, as he would always listen to his father. He glanced behind him, but that boy, he was starting to become too much attached to the light. Minato couldn't have him exposing himself. If Menma, Naruto, or anyone were to find out about him, things would turn bad in the blink of a second. It wouldn't take long for Menma to find out who he was, if he saw him and take a good look, not to mention if he saw what he could do. Minato shook his head as he focused back on the view in front of him. Konoha shall not fall, no matter what. As he dropped the barrier and spoke to his secretary, "Hello, is visitors inside?" Meanwhile, as Naruto and his team was going to the land of sea, as they were supposed to take care of a monster that has been sabotaging all of the ships and boats, the Kaima. As the people there were paying them a large sum to take care of this monster, their job was being tampered with, and they could not work efficiently with this monster messing with all of their produce. As they moved for most of the day, but they had to camp in the night. When nighttime came, as Naruto was given the first watch by Sensei, as Naruto stood in a tree, the Kaima, a mission popped into his mind from his past, as he wondered if it was the same. If it was, he knew exactly who was the Kaima. As he sat down, leaned up against a branch. As the others were asleep, he'd wake them when his shift was over. As he felt something hit him, as he glanced behind him, he knew that he was there. He jumped down. You should have a better grasp on your surroundings. What if I were an enemy? Well then, you wouldn't get that close. As she chuckled a bit, being a bit cocky, aren't you? You're the one being cocky, coming out here right now. What if they see you? Oh, they're still resting, so we have this time all to ourselves. As Hanabi stepped towards him. She had a small pout in her face though. What's wrong? Said Naruto. Well, we haven't had much time to spend together. With us becoming genin, things are just gonna get more hectic. Let's just hurry and become chunin so that we can go on missions of ourselves. And even go by ourselves and spend time together out of the village for days. Wouldn't that be amazing? Of course it would, said Naruto, as he caressed her cheek as she leaned into his touch. As Naruto wondered what this Naruto did to make this girl so madly in love with him. As she leaned over and placed a kiss on his cheek, before she started to kiss all over his face, as she planted one on his mouth. Was she trying to be hot in some way? Well, she was still young and inexperienced. She paused as her Byakugan caught sight of something. As Naruto turned, what is it? Someone's passing. As two people landed, as Naruto could see that they were obviously ninjas, judged by the way they just landed, and their physique. He wasn't sure about their identity, seeing that they were in masses. He glanced towards Hanabi. Who is it? He asked. I don't know, she said. She saw their face but she didn't know who they were. As she scanned them, there's no markers on them to tell where they're from. The two individuals looked towards them. As Naruto stood there. Who are you? He said. As the first one looked towards Naruto. As he seemed to scan Naruto for a long while. Seems like we got a treat, don't we? Yeah, it seems we do, his partner said. As they looked over Naruto, they then glanced towards Hanabi, and the Byakugan as well. It will be a rather hefty sum. Konoha advanced. It must be. Hey kid, tell me something. You wouldn't happen to be Naruto, would you? The son of Minato and Mikaze. Yes, I am. And be cursed, what the hell was he doing? Telling them who he was? The both of them looked like they were missing ninjas, judging that they didn't have any insignia over them. Ah, you are. As the both of them chuckle. It's glad that you're so cooperating by telling us your name. Why don't you come with us? So we don't have to cause you any pain or hurt. As Naruto stood there. Were you guys just passing through? He asks. Yes. And we meant to land right into a gold mine. Miyaizu, enough. As Naruto blinked at that. Wait, Miyaizu? Gozu? The demon brothers, he asks. The both of them raised an eyebrow under their masks as they slowly lift it. You know who we are? Huh, brother. I thought we were keeping a better cover in the shadows. Well, I guess not. Seems Konoha know who we are. Well, that makes things a lot worse then. We'll have to erase all sign of us being here. As Naruto was confused. These low-life ninjas. But yet they were acting different. Were they more powerful or something? I wonder, should we tell the boss about this? Or should we keep it to ourselves? You know, if we tell him, he's gonna want to take a bigger cut. After all, we're the one that find them. Let's tell them ourselves. It's not like anyone will know that we're here after we got rid of all the evidence. Hey Miyasa, go and find their other teammates and eradicate them. If there's anything special, bring it back. Alright, fine. As Miyasa started to make his way off. Hold on, said Naruto. Who told you that I will allow you to pass? Both brothers blink. This kid has some balls. Naruto, what the hell are you doing to the Hanabi? As Naruto pushed her back, just stay there. What the hell was he doing, these guys? They had Jonin, level worth of chakra. Low Jonin, but still, they could not stop them. As she focused her eyes on Naruto. What the hell? Why couldn't she see his chakra? What was going on? She could not speak as Naruto vanished, right in front of her eyes. Miyaizu heard gurgling as he turned. Gozu! As he saw Gozu standing there was a hand through his chest. As a blissful smile came on Naruto's face. You don't know how long I've been waiting for a moment like this. As Naruto seemed to be taking in so much pleasure by ripping through the man like he was nothing. Gozu! Miyaizu shrugged as he pulled out a claw on his hand. As he summoned it, he rushed towards Naruto's Hanabi move, but she was not fast enough as the man left her in his dust. He reached Naruto quickly, as he was close enough already though. Naruto, watch out, Hanabi said. Luckily, they had moved a bit away from the group, so Obito and Sahara could not hear them. As Miyaizu swung the claw, as Naruto ducked, the thing passed over his head as his smirk was wide. He flipped, brought his leg up, but Miyaizu blocked the vicious kick. Miyaizu winced as he felt the bones in his arms tremble as the body of Gozu dropped. As Naruto moved forward his palm, as it was then that Hanabi saw something. This energy, this rush of chakra just exploded and flooded Naruto's palm as he slammed it in Miyaizu's chest. She watched with fascination as his organs, his bones, they were all destroyed on a subatomic level. As Naruto's chakra was able to penetrate Miyaizu's body from all points, he destroyed all of his points in his body, crushed his chakra system, and his chakra vaporized his bones and organs. The amount of chakra that Naruto put into the attack was beyond ridiculous. It shocked her. How was that even possible? And he merely palm struck him. Naruto grabbed the man by his shoulder so he would not fly away. As the man's body went limp, as fluid started to rush out of his body quickly, all the destroyed organs, fluid started to pour from him, every single hole in his body. As Naruto dropped it, these two were a bit stronger than in his time, but still not strong enough. As Naruto looked down toward his hand, he could focus most of his chakra into one point, but he could still not bring that out all over his body. He still need more time, but judging that it has only been a few weeks, he was getting there. But it was still too long for him to get back his full power. He was still nowhere close to regaining what he truly was. And that was a bit pathetic in his opinion, as it angered him to be this weak. He even turned as he saw Hanabi standing there. She was quite shocked. How did you... Oh, asked Naruto stepped towards her. I'm gonna need you to keep this a secret from me, okay? What? She said. What I just did. I can't have anyone find out about this. Wait, what's going on? I've been training in secret. I'm a lot stronger than I pretend to be. And I just want to keep that secret for now. I'll reveal it to everyone soon. But for now, please, I need to keep that secret from me. Everything, this, tonight and everything. Can you do that? Of course. But you've been training in private? For how long? For a long time now. As Naruto placed both hands on her cheek. Look, I'll explain everything to you soon enough. But for now, can you just keep this between me and you? As a favor from me, please. As she melted into his touch, his arms were cursed in her face the entire time. Okay, she said, but I'll be needing an explanation. You go back to camp, said Naruto. I'll take care of this. As she nodded, he asked her to do something and she would not complain that much. As she made her way back to camp, still she was shocked. She has never killed someone before, but her father had pounded the lesson in her head that she would have to kill someone soon enough. After all, she was going to be a ninja. As the way Naruto did it was so nonchalant, and why was he smiling? But she would trust him. She always have, she would not lose trust now. The next morning, the group was back on the road once again, as there was no sign that he fought anyone last night. It took them a while as they finally made their way to the land of sea. Arriving there, the place smelled like fish. As Obito laughed a bit as he saw the look on Naruto's face. Yes, a rather strong odor if I must say, said Obito, as he looked around. I'm gonna give you guys your first assignment as your team leader. I need you guys to go around and gather information. Ask about this strange climate to see what we can find out. As he pulled out 3 tags out of his bag. Hold out your arms, he said. As he all did as he applied a sealing tag, before he applied one to himself. Uzumaki's special made. If anything happened, apply chakra to the seal, and it will send out a beacon that you're in distress. And I'll be there, he said. Alright. Now go on to your first assignment, he said. As the group nodded as they separated. As Naruto made his way. He wasn't going to do anything, he was just gonna chill. But this fish smell was getting on his nerve. As he spotted someone. As Naruto really wondered, was it? As he made his way up to the person. The person glanced towards him. Can I help you? Oh, I was just wondering. I'm new to town. I want to do some business here. I've heard these rumors about ships getting destroyed by a monster. Is that real or just some hoax they put up? Oh, I'm afraid it's quite real. As the girl that Naruto was talking to had black hair and black eyes. Sorry, my name is Naruto. Would you mind telling me yours, he said, so we can properly address you. Oh, my name is Haku, she said. I knew it, Naruto thought to himself. As he looked over Haku. She was a girl. In his time, she was a boy. But he could see the curves and the chest. She was a girl. Was Zabuza involved in this in some way? Well, yes, in his time, Zabuza. He was the captain for the Demon Brothers, correct? So that means Zabuza was involved. So you're saying that I should not do business here? What kind of business? Oh well, my father has a rather large company where he transports goods. It's worth quite a lot of money, said Naruto, as he waited for her reaction. She looked a bit surprised. Well, your father can do business along, as you have a guide. Would you mind me to show you to one of the best guy around? Oh, no problem, said Naruto. Come with me, young man, she said. As Naruto was not wearing his headband, he had took it off the moment he spotted her. So she could not tell that he was a ninja, or if she could tell, she would know where he was from. As Naruto watched her, she was bringing him down a dark alley. Why did it seem like she was about to attack him or something like that? Oh, it seems like he was not wrong. She turned so quickly as she plunged a needle right in his stomach before slamming one into his two shoulders. Before she slammed one into his leg, as Naruto fell face first, she kicked him over. As there was a smile on her face, the innocent smile was gone, replaced with a wicked, cruel smile. As she reached down and touched his face, "You have such a pretty face, not to mention these cute little whisker marks." But, revealing yourself to be the son of a rich merchant was really stupid of you. "My master would want to meet you. You must have a way of getting in contact with your father, right? So that we can get quite a hefty ransom." "I thought you were a nice girl," said Naruto. "I'm afraid to inform you no one in this world is nice. Almost everyone put up a facade." "You're telling me," said Naruto. "But today is your worst day." "What do you mean?" she said, confused. "Well, you just screwed with a god and think that you can get away with it." She raised her eyebrow in confusion. "A god? Are you calling yourself a god now? Are you that delusional?" "Well, you're nothing but a dumb kid, so I shouldn't expect anything otherwise. But you do have cute little whisker marks though." "Hey, how old are you?" said Naruto. "You keep on touching my face. Are you some kind of pedophile or something?" "Oh, of course not. I just merely admire how cute your face is." "Well, if I'm younger than you, that's the definition of a pedophile," said Naruto. "I thought you'd be a lot nicer, but I must say, I don't feel any way about you touching me. If you like, you can go a bit lower. You're quite a beautiful lady." "Oh, thank you," she said. "But I'm afraid that we're finished talking now." As she was about to pick him up until her danger senses flare as she stepped back. As she was confused, as Naruto chuckled a bit before he started to get to his feet. "Oh, you didn't know how close you were to dying a moment ago. Seems your danger senses told you otherwise, didn't you?" How are you standing?" "Well, you talk too much. I'm quite disappointed in myself because usually you wouldn't even affect me in the first place, but now here I am even falling to my knees. I mean, that's quite pathetic." Haku looked towards him confused. How are you standing? You shouldn't be able to move without me removing those needles." As Naruto chuckled a bit. "Funny, I told you before, I'm a god. And your little trinkets can't work on me. Now bow, and I might spare your life." As Haku looked towards him before she created 3 spikes in each hand, made from ice, she threw them towards him. As Naruto deflected all of them with a kunai, she was upon him in seconds. As she was fast, Naruto looked down as her eyes met. As Naruto's heel slammed into her face, Haku was shocked as she was thrown back towards the wall. Boom! She crashed into it. She steadied herself as Naruto gripped her throat and pinned her against the wall. She created 2 ice spikes as she stabbed them in his side. As Naruto winced in pain a bit, but he did not let her go. As blood came from his mouth, as he spat it at her face. "That's for stabbing me," he says. He held her in the wall. "I thought you were a nice person, but I guess I was wrong." As her face started to turn blue, as she could not breathe. As Naruto watched the light slowly drain away from her eyes, as he just smiled. It feels good to be in control once again. He released her as she dropped to the ground. She gasped for air. As Naruto looked down, he reached the bottom of her shirt and he pulled it up. As he looked at her chest. "Yep, a girl." "So you're indeed a girl," said Naruto. She could not speak as she was still gasping for air. She thought that she was gonna die. "If you're here, that means Zabuza is here as well." "So where is he?" said Naruto. She picked herself up as she moved back, wobbling on her feet. As her brain was away from ear for too long, her body was not in fighting shape. As her eyes were blurry as she looked towards him, she felt something tap her on her ass as she turned around. "And a fine figure as well," said Naruto as he was now behind her. She was confused. "How are you? How?" As she tried to speak. "Shh." As she felt a finger on her lip. "Be quiet," said Naruto, as he placed a hand over her mouth. As 3 people passed the alley that they were in, as Naruto released her, he tripped her leg as she dropped. As she moved back as her back pressed up against the wall, as her eyes focused on him, as an ice spike appeared in her hand. BAM! As Naruto's heel crashed in the side of her head. As she fell face first, her head slamming into the ground. Everything went so blurry. I mean, I was just having a conversation with you, and yet you pulled something like that on me. I wonder, said Naruto as he looked towards his palm, as he focused. He must have this back already. As 3 ice spikes appeared in his hand, smaller than hers, but it will do. As he tossed one, she cried as he stabbed into her back. He tossed the other one in her leg as she cried. He threw the other one in her shoulder, as she cried on the ground, as blood started to pour from her body. It's been a while since I tortured someone, said Naruto, but I gotta say, it's rather enjoyable. So how are you doing down there? She turned towards him. She was about to say something, but Naruto stomped in her face. Sorry, it was a rhetorical question. As Naruto ducked, some of his hair getting sliced off. Someone landed and swung a brutal kick into his stomach, as Naruto staggered back a bit. As he looked towards none other than Zabuza. Well, at least he was still the same. Except there was no bandage around his mouth. As his glare was so wicked as he looked towards Naruto. Naruto saw the visions of a demon around the man as he released so much bloodlust that the place started to be affected as Naruto activated the seal on the back of his hand. It wasn't that he was afraid to fight Zabuza or anything like that, but he was curious. He wanted to know what the others think about him. It didn't take too long as Obita appeared in a flash, moving from the sunshine as he appeared beside Naruto. As Naruto glanced up towards Obito, Obito was shocked. What the? Zabuza? As he looked towards Zabuza surprised. I'll be back for you, kid. And you will die, he said. And without any questioning, he picked up Haku as he flashed away with her. Obito snapped his gaze towards Naruto. Naruto, are you okay? He said. Quite fine. What's wrong? That was Zabuza. Extract missing in of Kiri, one of the elite 7 ninja swordsmen. What was he doing here? Elite 7 ninja swordsmen? As Naruto saw the other 2 just arriving. What's going on? Hanabi said as she looked over Naruto. As she noticed Sahara looking at her. What happened? She said, her tone more usual. As Sahara came closer. You're the one that sent out the signal, right? I saw the end appear in the back of my arm. What's wrong? She said. As she looked him over. Are you okay? Yes, I'm fine, said Naruto. Hanabi raised the eyebrow into how. Sahara was touching him up. She knew that they were close friends, but this was getting a bit personal, wasn't it? Well, Sahara didn't have any personal space boundaries. Seeing that she lifted Naruto's shirt up and checked him all over, checking his arms, checking over his legs. Well, sometimes she can be a bit weird. I'm fine, said Naruto. Just want to make sure, she said. Now, what happened? Well, I ran into Zabuza. Well, first I ran into this woman that wanted to rob me, said Naruto. And then we fought. You fought her? Obito said. It could be Zabuza's apprentice. I heard that she's quite skilled. But Naruto, I saw her on the ground and I arrived in pain. Did you? Well, I guess I caught her by surprise. She didn't think I was strong enough. So, I tricked her. I delivered a hit to her before Zabuza arrived and took her away. Hanbi watched him as she could tell that he was lying. He was stronger than he put on, but she didn't understand why he was lying if he was so strong. Maybe it was some politics things. Or he didn't want to outshine his sister or something like that. Perhaps that was the reason. He was always kind and sweet. That was one of the main reasons why she fell for him. Come on. I got some information. You tell me about this when you're finished, said Obito as he led his team away. Later that night, the team was scoping out the area near the docks, as a ship was going to be docking today, and they were waiting for the Kaima to show up. It turns out that every time a ship came by, it was either ransacked or it was just completely destroyed. The monster that everyone said that it was some sort of sea demon. As Naruto and his group had met up with a client, the man, he was the owner of a dock, as it started a year ago. At first it was just some small attacks, but now it get completely out of hand and they need to be stopped. So that is why they hire a ninja group. As Naruto was still shocked, Zabuza was an S-rank missing then. S-rank. Even Obito was a bit shocked at him being here. Obito had asked the man about the appearance of the Kaima. One of the men had said they saw it once, They said that it was a demon of the water. As Obito asked them about the description, he even told him about Zabuza's description. He was hoping that it was not Zabuza. That is why they were so far away. They were just investigating tonight. Obito did not want to intervene. As Naruto wondered if the man had the Mangita Sharingan already, because if he does, this should be easy for him, S rank or not for Zabuza. With his intangibility, Zabuza shouldn't be that difficult to handle. But if Obito didn't have his Mangitsu, well, he wouldn't be that strong, as Naruto wasn't sure. But Zabuza being S-class was, well, shocking. He knew that Haku thought that he was just a joke, that is why. She did not fight him for real, but she was stronger than she seems. As Sahara spoke, what if it is Zabuza, working for whoever is running the operation? Then we leave and go back to Konoha. He's not an enemy that we can handle at the moment. Is he really that much stronger than you, Sensei? Naruto asks. Well, a powerful Uchiha I am, but I alone can't face him. There's a reason why he's known as a demon of the myths. Said to be one of the strongest ninja swordsmen out there. Far stronger than Kisame, who's quite a force to be reckoned with. I'm sure that you know all about this, the 7 ninja swordsman, right? Yeah, said Naruto. Well, given his status, he was supposed to know. He just faked ignorance. Well, he already knew them from the past, but in this time, he did not know them. So, there's no one else that rivals Zabuza, said Naruto. Well, there is, but Obito was cut off as they saw the boat. Shh. They're here, Hanabi said. The group watched as the boat docked, as the man came off to load the things. But before they could, fully, a serpent emerged. As Obito activated Sharingan, we saw a demon emerge from the water, followed by the serpent, but the demon was just an illusion. The men on the dock started to scream and move away. This was their first time in here as they ran. Their boat was split in two, the thing taken down with ease by the water serpent. As Naruto saw Zabuza and Haku, a smile came on his face as he placed his hand on the board. As a pulse of his chakra went out, a tiny pulse, enough to change the shape of the small dock just a bit to caught the attention of Haku, who glanced up. As Naruto brought out a kunai and reflected off the moon, as she saw the light, she pulled out 3 ice senbons. Move, Hanabi said as she threw them into place. As all of them scattered, they stabbed in the area. The group landed. It's you, Haku said. Haku, no, Zabuza. He's mine. That little shit caught me off guard. But not again. I know they're here. It seems that Kami's giving me a chance to kill him. Alright, fine, have your revenge. But watch out. There's something about him that I can't put my finger on. The mission is complete, so you can kill him. I'll take care of the others. Make sure to eliminate him. We can't have this going back to Konoha. Them on our tail is not something good. So, you're gonna exterminate us, huh? Yeah, Haku said. You might have caught me off guard first, but I promise you something like that will never happen again. Are you sure? That I just didn't beat your ass? Naruto, that's enough. Focus, you 3. I want you to try your best to stall that one. And I will stall Zabuza. As his Sharingan was blaring, Sahara's Sharingan sprang to life as Naruto saw 2 totem in them. As the beacon of Hanbi came to life, Obito's mind was flashing through scenarios to get the hell out of here. As his team was not ready for a fight like this, he needed to make them hold off that woman for just a second or two. But if she was trained by the legendary Zabuza, well, all of that was thrown to hell when Naruto rushed forward. As Haku looked towards him, stupid, as she tricked the ice staff. As Naruto saw her twirl it, she was much older, perhaps 16 or 17, so her ice manipulation was a lot better than it seems. As she sent it right after his head, as Naruto ducked, it whipped past his face. She jumped up in the air, she twisted as she threw it, it burst into several pieces and came crashing down on him. Obito took his eyes off Zabuza for a moment as the next thing he knew, A massive cleaver blade was about to take his head off. I'm your opponent. Obito blocked with his Sharingan before he twisted aside as the blade split the dot that they were on. Zabuza's speed was intense as Naruto noticed that. As Haku brought her staff around that reform in a second. Pay attention or die. Or don't. You will die otherwise, she said as she twisted the staff to stab Naruto right in the chest. But she was intercepted by 3 kunais as Sahara threw them, pushing her back right into Hanabi, who spin rotation. But before Haku could land right in the rotation, she created the ice mirror in mid-air and dropped right through it as she rematerialized behind Naruto. As Naruto stood there, it was quite pathetic. These people thinking that they could fight him. As it was about time that he let Konoha know how much stronger than everyone he was. Well, in terms of these weak people. After all, he was getting chocolate from an unknown source. How could they explain it? Well, they couldn't. As Haku was about to strike Naruto down, Naruto! The 2 screams from the 2 girls could be heard as Obito looked over, cursing as he was blocked in. Zabuza's massive cleaver with his blade that was already cracking. His kunai was being cracked by the cleaver that was about to split him in half. But Naruto simply smiled, and all hell then broke loose. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new series over Anime King 2 of What If Naruto had a different dimension being sealed inside him, and enjoy that guys. And he also posted a brand new episode of What If Naruto was trained by Shao over on Anime King, and enjoy that guys. And also remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button to become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, I'll be planning talking about to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you think? Get the hell out of here. See you guys soon. Peace.